What happens when one of country music's most celebrated icons shows up for what should have been a straightforward morning interview, only for it to spiral into one of the most tense moments in live television history? This is the story of how a seemingly simple question turned into a full-on standoff that ended with Reba McEntire walking off the Today Show set, leaving millions of viewers stunned and the hosts scrambling to cover the awkward silence. Before diving into the details, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below sharing what you think really went down, because this story is bound to raise questions. The interview began smoothly enough. Reba McEntire entered the set wearing her familiar smile, waving at the audience as she sat across from the hosts. The studio radiated a warm, welcoming energy, the kind the morning show is known for. The first few minutes were typical, filled with questions about her latest tour, her upcoming album, and light-hearted chatter about life on the road. The lead host leaned forward, smiling. "So, Reba, your fans are loving the new tour. You've been performing for decades now. How do you maintain that energy night after night?" Reba responded with ease, clearly comfortable. "You know, it's really about the connection with the fans. Each night feels different because each crowd is different. I feed off their energy, and they feed off mine. It keeps me young." The co-host jumped in. "Speaking of staying young, you look amazing. What's your secret?" Reba laughed lightly. "I appreciate that. I think it's really about taking care of yourself, staying active, and loving what you do. When you love your work, it shows." Everything seemed perfectly normal. The type of interview that would usually end with some promotional mentions and a short performance. But then the mood shifted. The lead host glanced at their notes and looked up with a sharper expression. "Reba, I want to change gears a bit," the host said. "You've been very open in the past about certain personal beliefs, especially regarding family values and traditional ideals. But lately, we've noticed you've been quieter on some of the larger social issues that other celebrities are addressing. Is there a reason for that?" The studio quieted slightly. Reba's smile remained, but it tightened just a little. "Well, I've always felt my music speaks for itself. I'm here to entertain and bring joy. Not every discussion needs to get heavy." The co-host, casual but probing, added, "But don't you think with your platform, you have a responsibility to speak out? Fans look up to you. They want to know where you stand on important issues." Reba adjusted in her seat, hands neatly folded. "I think where I stand is clear. People who pay attention to my work and my life can see that. I don't feel I have to voice opinions on every issue just because someone expects me to." The lead host pressed further. "But isn't silence a choice too? Some argue staying quiet is the same as taking a side." Reba's eyes sharpened. "I think that's an unfair way to frame it. I'm not staying quiet because I don't care. I'm choosing not to turn every interview into a political debate. There's a difference." The co-host leaned forward, tone softer, almost personal. "We aren't trying to make this political, Reba, we're just curious. Recently, there have been talks about inclusivity in country music, making the industry more welcoming. You've paved the way for women in the genre. Where do you stand on ensuring it's inclusive for everyone?" Reba nodded slowly, jaw tightening a fraction. "Country music has always been about storytelling, about real life and emotions. It connects with people because it's honest. I've always supported anyone wanting to make great music, no matter who they are or where they come from." The lead host pressed again. "That's admirable, but some believe the industry and maybe even some top stars could do more. Do you think you could do more?" The question hung like a challenge. Reba's smile vanished, replaced by a calm, firm expression. "I've spent my whole career breaking barriers and paving the way for others. I've worked harder than most can imagine, and I've done it with integrity. No, I don't feel I need to justify what I do to anyone." The co-host tried to soften things. "We're not asking for justification, Reba, we're just talking." Reba's eyes shifted between the hosts. "Is that what this is? Because it feels more like I'm on trial." The lead host laughed nervously. "Not at all. We just think these discussions are important." Reba didn't laugh. "Maybe you should have told me before I sat down. because I came here to talk about my music, not be interrogated about my beliefs. The tension in the studio was thick, palpable even through the screen. The hosts exchanged a glance, clearly surprised by the pushback. The lead host tried to recover. Reba, we respect your career and achievements, but people are paying attention more than ever. Reba's voice remained steady, though sharper now. I understand that. What I don't understand is why you felt the need to ambush me on live TV instead of asking about my work as we agreed. The co-host attempted to smooth things over. We didn't mean to ambush you. Reba cut them off. Well, that's exactly how it feels. The studio audience was silent, the discomfort palpable. The hosts tried to steer back to safe ground, but the damage was done. Look, Reba, we're all on the same side. We want an honest conversation, the lead host said. If you wanted honesty, you should have been upfront about what this interview was, Reba replied, expression unreadable. Instead, you blindsided me. And now you're surprised I'm not playing along. A heavy silence fell. The lead host spoke, voice less confident. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Let me rephrase. Reba held up a hand. No, rephrasing won't fix it. You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted a moment, and congratulations, you got one. The co-host shifted uneasily. We weren't trying to create anything. We just wanted your perspective. Reba laughed dryly. Interesting for whom? Your viewers, ratings? It certainly wasn't interesting for me to be put here. The lead host tried again. You're right, we should have been clearer. But now that we are here, can we talk? You have a unique perspective after years in this industry. Reba shook her head. You're still pushing me into a corner. I won't give sound bites for you to twist into any narrative. The co-host leaned in, voice pleading. We respect you, Reba, really. Your career, your talent, all of it. Reba's eyes narrowed. If you respected me, you wouldn't ambush me. Respect means honesty, not traps. The lead host, flustered, tried to salvage the moment. We didn't set a trap. These are questions fans have. My fans buy albums, attend shows, follow my career. Reba shot back. They don't expect ambushes disguised as conversation. Silence filled the studio. The camera crew froze, unsure of what to film. The co-host's voice softened. Can we take a breath and reset? Reba studied them. The problem is you think I owe you answers. I don't. We don't think that. The lead host replied quickly. But in public, people have questions. Reba was immediate. Questions don't mean I have to answer, especially framed like this. How would you prefer we frame them? The co-host asked. I'd prefer you didn't, Reba said, composed. I came to talk about my music, my tour, the things I'm promoting, and not to be a target for social commentary. Punching bag. The lead host repeated, confused. No, grilling me, Reba corrected. A conversation goes both ways. This is one-sided, designed to make me look bad. The co-host shook their head. That's not true. We aren't trying to make you look bad. Then what is this? Reba asked. Because it feels like false pretenses to score points by putting me in an uncomfortable spot on live TV. Silence followed. The lead host tried to respond, but words failed. The co-host looked down at notes. Finally, the lead host spoke softly. There's been a misunderstanding. We wanted a meaningful conversation. A meaningful conversation requires honesty, transparency, and alignment. Reba replied. None of that happened here. Can we start over? Talk about your album, your tour. The co-host asked. Reba glanced at the camera, then back. For a moment, she seemed like she might agree, but then she shook her head. We can't pretend this didn't happen. No, it did. And it shows everything about this interview. The lead host pleaded. We live. Millions watching. Please continue. That's the problem, Reba said firmly. You care more about viewers than treating your guest with respect. The co-host tried again. We always respected you, Reba. I'm leaving because respect was not returned, Reba said, standing. The shock rippled through the studio. Reba, wait. Let us talk. The lead host called. We already did. I made myself clear, Reba replied, calm. Please, we can talk about anything. Your album, tour. The lead host begged. I appreciate it, but I'm done, Reba said. Good faith was not returned, so I'm excusing myself. Think of the fans, the co-host said, nearly pleading. I am, Reba said softly, and I'm thinking of the example I want to set. I won't tolerate disrespect on live TV. My fans will understand. Anything to change your mind? The lead host asked. No, Reba replied, removing her microphone, setting it on the chair. She turned and walked toward the exit, fully in view of cameras. Reba, wait! The lead host called, but she didn't stop. Gasps and slow applause rippled through the audience as she crossed the floor. The co-host addressed the camera, flushed. We'll take a short break. Be right back. The feed lingered, showing Reba reach the exit and disappear before cutting to commercial. When the show returned, both hosts were seated, composed but shaken. We want to address what happened. The lead host began. Reba McEntire chose to leave our interview. We respect her and her career and never intended the conversation to go this way. The co-host added, we may have miscommunicated. We wanted a broad discussion, but clearly didn't convey it effectively. We value all guests, the lead host said. We never want anyone uncomfortable and will reflect on how to improve. The co-host nodded. We wish Reba the best. She's a legend, and our respect hasn't changed. Next was a cooking segment, but the damage was done. Social media exploded. Clips went viral, sparking debates about respect, interviews, and the line between journalism and entertainment. Some praised Reba for standing her ground, others criticized her. Yet everyone agreed the moment was unforgettable. Reba McEntire, after decades in the spotlight, had drawn a line. A simple interview turned cultural moment highlighted the importance of respect and the right to walk away. Whether you agreed or not, it was a powerful reminder that even celebrities deserve dignity. The interview, meant for promotion, became a lesson, replayed and discussed for years. Two sides couldn't find common ground, expectations weren't aligned, and respect was overlooked. So, what do you think? Was Reba right to leave? Or should she have stayed? Principle or overreaction? Share your thoughts and subscribe so you don't miss the next story. What would you have done in that situation?